Let's look at an example that looks at premium on bonds payable here. So it says Apex Corp issued 14% 5-year bonds payable with a maturity value of $45,000 at a price of $46,230 on January 1st, 2012. Journalize the following transactions. Okay, so we've got here let's see, that we received $45,000 for, or that's the maturity value, the face value of our bond. We received $46,230. So we know right up front that we received cash of $46,230 on this particular bond. And we also know that the bonds payable, our liability, is going to be $45,000, which is the face value. Now the difference between my debits and my credits here is going to be premium on bonds payable. We receive more for the bond than the actual face value. In this case, $62.30. So we got more for the bond, probably because it's paying a higher interest rate than what the market is actually demanding at this particular time, or what other bonds are actually paying. So again, the difference between the cash we received and the bonds payable, in this case, is going to be a premium of $1,230. Let's look at that payment then on the first. So we know when we're going to make a payment, we're going to have to pay cash. And that interest payment, we've calculated once, but let's go ahead and do it again. Take the face value of the bond, $45,000, times the interest rate, 14%, that's an annual rate, times 6 over 12, because we're paying that twice a year, semi-annual interest, comes out to $31.50. So when we go to make a payment, we're going to pay $31.50 to our bondholders of record. Okay. In our interest expense, let's figure that out after we amortize this premium on bonds payable. So we have $1,230 here that we need to amortize or write off over the life of the bond. And we're going to make 10 interest payments. It's a 5-year bond and we're paying that twice a year. 5 times twice a year is 10 payments. So it's $123 a payment. So I'm going to have to debit my premium on bonds payable for $123. Again, I'm going to write that $1,230 off over the life of the bond with every interest payment. So I just divided by the number of payments. So I will debit premium on bonds payable $123. Well, you can see my debit here of $123 does not equal my cash credit of $31.50, and the difference is the interest expense. Now, premium reduces the interest expense on a bond. Normally it would be $31.50, the amount of cash payment that I'm making. But since I did get a little bit more money up front, I got a premium on that bond when I issued it up front, it reduces my bond interest expense down to $30,027. We'll take the face or the actual interest of $31.50 minus my premium on bonds payable of $123. Now if you add those two together, you'll get $31.50 and a cash credit of $31.50.